Welcome back. So today we are going to study chapter 5, Morphology of Flowering Plants. The wide range in the structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us. Even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure or morphology, they are all characterized by the presence of roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruits. So, in the earlier chapter, of plant kingdom, we have studied about the angiosperms. We all know that they are the flowering plants which produce flowers and fruits. So, in the nature, if we see angiosperms, they are of different types. There are a lot of variations in the angiosperms. Few have smaller size, few have larger size, their shape is different and their structure is different. So angiosperms vary a lot. One angiosperm, one flowering plant varies from the other flowering plant. And but there are few common features in all these angiosperms. That is, they all have roots, they all have stem, they all have leaves, they all have flowers, and they all have fruits. These are the common features of all flowering plants. In chapters 2 and 3, we talked about classification of plants based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and at understanding any higher plant, or for that matter, any living organism, we need to know standard technical terms and standard definitions. So, to describe any organism or any plant, we have to use standard technical terms and standard definitions. We also need to know about the possible variations in different parts found as adaptations of the plants to their environment. Example, adaptations to various habitats for protection, climbing, storage, etc. So plant adapt to their surroundings, to their habitats. Why? Because for protection, for climbing, and for storage. So, a flowering plant is broadly divided into two. The structure of the flowering plant is broadly divided into two. First is the root system, second is the shoot system. The root system is the part of the flowering plant which is underground, which cannot be seen. It includes the root branches, and the root hairs. And the second is the shoot system. It is the aerial part of the plant and it can be seen. It is above the ground. And so the shoot system includes the stem, the leaves, the flowers, and the fruits. First, we will study about the root. In majority of the dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows inside the soil. It bears lateral roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary roots, etc. So first let us see the structure of the seed embryo. So suppose this is the seed embryo. This is the seed embryo. So here we have two tiny hair-like structures coming out from this. One is the plumule. This is the plumule. And the down one is the radicle. So this plumule develops into the shoot system and the radicle develops into the root system. So this is the seed embryo. Here when the radicle develops into the primary root. So in a taproot system we have the primary root like this, which is the main root, and from the primary root the lateral roots will emerge. And again from the lateral roots, these lateral roots are known as secondary roots. And from these secondary roots, the tertiary roots are going to develop again from these secondary roots. So we know that in a dicotyledon we have two cotyledons like this, and we have the plumule and the radicle. So this is a dicotyledon seed embryo. Here this is the plumule, this is the radicle. This radicle will develop into primary root. It will develop into primary root. Okay, so this primary root will grow inside the soil. It grows into primary root, and from this primary root secondary roots will emerge, and from these secondary roots the tertiary roots are going to emerge. This constitutes the taproot system. The primary root and its branches. Its branches are what? The secondary and the tertiary roots. They constitute the taproot system. So this is how the taproot system is made. The primary root will emerge first from the radicle of the dicotyledon seed embryo, and then from this primary root the secondary roots will emerge, and from the secondary root the tertiary roots are going to emerge, as seen in the mustard plant. Example of a dicotyledonous plant is the mustard plant. We need to remember the example, it is very important. So here I will choose green color. It is the mustard plant. In monocotyledonous plants, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by a large number of roots. So what happens in a monocotyledon then? In dicot we saw that the radicle will develop into the primary root. In a monocot also, the in a monocot we have a mono means one, so there is a single cotyledon, and from the single cotyledon plumule and radicle are going to emerge. This is the plumule, this is the radicle. So this radicle will develop into the primary root. It will develop into the primary root. But from this primary root the secondary and tertiary roots are not going to emerge, because this primary root is short lived. It is not going to be there forever, it is just temporary. So it is short lived, and after some time it will diminish. This primary root will grow, and after some time it is going to diminish, and it will be replaced by large number of thin fibrous roots. Many roots will emerge from the base of the stem. There is no main root in this system. So in the monocotyledonous plant there is no main root. It will diminish after some time. The primary root will grow from the radicle, and later it will be replaced by a large number of roots, and they all will emerge from the base of the stem. That is why this root system is known as fibrous root system. Okay, so if in any root system the root grows from a part of the plant other than the radicle, if the root is going to grow from any part of the plant other than the radicle, mainly the root will develop from the radicle only. This is the plumule and this is the radicle. So the radicle will develop into the root. But in any plant, if the root is emerging from any part of the plant other than the radicle, then that root system is known as adventitious root system. So here also The primary root is developing from the radicle, but later it will be replaced by these fibrous roots which are emerging from the base of the stem. So that is the reason this root system is also known as adventitious root system, because the roots are emerging from the base of the stem and not the radicle. So that is why fibrous root system can also be known as the adventitious root system. Example of monocotyledonous plant is wheat. Maize also comes under the monocotyledonous plant. Wheat, maize, all these come under the monocotyledonous plants. Here they will have fibrous roots. And example of adventitious roots are banyan tree, grass and monstera. So here in banyan tree, if you see, branch is there like this, and from the branch the roots will develop and they are going to hang like this. So here the roots are developing from the branch of the tree and not the radicle. So even the banyan tree roots are example for adventitious roots. Main functions of the root system are absorption of water and minerals from the soil and providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts, storing reserve food material and synthesis of plant growth regulators. So what is the function of the root system or the roots? The roots, as they are the underground part of the plant, they are the part of the plant which will absorb water and minerals from the soil, because they are the only part of the plant which is present in the soil. They are going to absorb water and minerals from the soil and they will conduct it to the shoot system. They will transport these water and minerals to the stem and the leaves to the shoot system. So here in the root system there are tiny structures which we will study about them in detail. They are known as the root hair. So they will increase the surface area for absorption of minerals and water. Then they also provide proper anchorage to the plant parts. That means they will fix the whole of the plant, the stem, the leaves, the whole of the shoot system inside the soil. They are going to fix the whole plant, the entire plant, and support this plant and help in standing upright. So anchorage means providing support, fixing it to the soil, fixing the plant into the soil, and storing reserve food material. So this is when modification of the root takes place. When root modifies, it also starts performing additional functions, new functions, like storing reserve food. Reserve food means extra food. It is going to store food material. And synthesis of plant growth regulators. Plant growth regulators are phytohormones. Phyto means plant and hormones means hormones only. So phytohormones are nothing but plant hormones and they will help the plant to grow. Plant growth regulators means those hormones which regulate the growth of the plant, which help the plant to grow. Those are known as plant hormones and they are synthesized or prepared by the root. So here you can see the taproot system and here you can see the fibrous root system. So this is the main root and from the main root several lateral roots are arising. This is the fibrous root system. Here from the base of the stem many large thin roots are arising and this is the adventitious